Hi, I'm Subu bringing crafting to you, and today we're going to just make a simple easel card, and I'm using the Four Seasons floral. I have pre-cut out and stamped cut out because you have to fussy cut, and coloured these in. Now I've coloured the roses in Lovely Lipstick and Highland Heather. So I've done those previously, and if you watch my video on the floating frame, then you will have seen me cut out the centre panel, and it's the centre panel we are going to use today. So if you like the products that I'm using and would like to shop with me, if you haven't got a demonstrator, from the 28th of March to the 25th of April, I know we're now into April, this is my host code. So if you use my host code, which is unique to me, then you can either go on the Stampin' Up website, and when you come to put in your demonstrator, if you choose Sububi, or put in the hostess code, or then it's unique to me and will come back to me. If you're watching on my Facebook channel, on my business page, then there is a shop button, but please use the hostess code, as we can get more stamping rewards and I can share them with you. So thank you very much. Right, and also it's in my YouTube. To get to my Facebook, there'll be in the description a link. So thank you very much. Okay, so we're starting off with a piece of card that measures 5 inches by 8 and a quarter. We are going to score it at 4 1/8. And we are then going to turn it round and score it at 2 1/16. Now all that's done is half your cards and half it again. So it's halved it and halved it again. Okay, now why those measurements? It's because I had scrap pieces of card that I'm using up. So I don't want to cut into a whole sheet when I've got quite a big piece left. So I'm going to make just a smaller card, just say I'm thinking. So when we fold it, we're going to fold it in half and then fold this on itself, so that this will stand up as your easel. So now we're going to put a piece here. And I'm using up some old DSP because this is an old card colour called Lovely Lipstick. So I'm going to have a piece of DSP that measures 4 7/8. So it's 4 7/8 by, it was 4 7/8 by 4 inches it should be. So I'm just going to see, that might need, I'm not going to take it off, but you'd be better with 4 inches just in case my blade messes it up. So it's just fairly plain, that will go with my top part that I'm going to put on. So I'm just going to glue this down to the base of my card. So I'll just put that on there. So as I say, this is Lovely Lipstick, and the DSP actually has Lovely Lipstick in it. So I'm starting to use up some of my old DSP, but you could do this with any colours, any DSP. Whatever you chose to do the floating framing and the piece that you've cut out, the colours that you use, you just need something to coordinate with that. So it's whatever colours you coloured that in. Now I'm just going to place that on one side for the moment. Now this is what we ended up, when we'd done the floating frame, we ended up with this piece, and I'd got one more piece that I'd coloured in. So I am going to stick that in there where it's fairly white. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend up and just stick a little bit of glue. This will stop them from coming off. But because it actually was cut, it should be fairly solidly stuck. But I'm just making sure it's not going to come off. So I'm just putting them up and just putting a little bit of glue underneath. So I've done that one. That gone in? I think. There we go. Right. So just got some glue coming out there. Let's get rid of that. Oops, that's come out of its place. So just pop that back to the edge in there. There we go. So just flatten that down. Let's get my glue bits off there. There we go. And then I'm just going to pop this one flower that I had left. May as well use it all. So I'm just going to pop that going sideways like that. There we go. Fill in some of the white space. Right, now there is a technique where you emboss. So although I've got two different layers of card, because I've got the base layer that is white, and then I've done all these on top, that's the second layer. But now I'm going to make it totally different, and this is very simple. I have got my mini, and I've got a couple of embossing folders for the mini, and I'm just going to use the simple version here. This is going to add texture to my paper. So I'm going to pop it that way. Well, it won't matter which way I put it in. Let's see, that will take it down, so I'm going to put it that way, okay, because that will push it up there. So I'm just putting that in, and I'm putting it in the middle. So, oh, actually, I'm going to stick it to the end. I've changed my mind. So what I'm doing is I'm sticking it so that it's picking up all of this bit here, and it'll have a tiny weeny bit there. Okay, so what we do when we're embossing, we have the plates that tell you exactly what to do. So I need plate 1, so that's the plate that I need. And then, because this is a thinner folder, not a thicker folder, I need my grey one. So I'm just double checking that this is, yeah, the thicker one. And when you're embossing, you stick in your fold first. So what I've got is my plate 1, then I'm sticking my embossing folder in, and then I'm sticking my plate 3 on top. So that's the sandwich. And then that just goes simply through. Now, to save your embossing folders and the pressure on your die cutting machine, you should always put in with the fold first. So that there has brought a different texture. Can you see that on there? So it's given it even more added interest on there. So it's made it completely different. Okay, so you can choose whatever embossing folders you've got. So I'll just pop those out of the way just to make it that little bit different. And because of the pressure that's gone through that, it really sticks these down even more. Right, so I'm going to use a piece of gold foil, and I did have it here a moment ago. What do when I move things, what did I do with it? I just had it here. I know I did, because I'd measured it and got this piece of foil. I had everything ready, and it's just disappeared from my view. As it, oh, because it's gone upside down, it wasn't facing the gold way. So this piece actually measures 2 5/8 by 4 inches. So the piece of gold foil I've got is 3 and it's not quite 3 1/8. It's, well, actually it's 3 1/16 by the look of that, and 4 1/2. So it looked near enough the right size. It looked as though it was fairly even border. So just want a nice big gold border. So I'm going to pop that on there and then use my wet glue. So look at the embossing there. You can use it either way. That's the beauty of the embossing folders. You can use the embossed side or what we call the de-embossed side. So I'm going to pop this because I'm going to have it this way. So I'm going to make sure it's about there. I did that. Okay, that might have moved when I put it in the embossing folder, so never mind. Okay, just make sure you get it even. Just want to make sure that that is lined up and even, and then we go. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to place it so that it's got even amount on either side, but it still picks up quite a lot of the lovely lipstick. Now all we need to do is put your glue on either side. So I'm just going to mark a bit with my glue there, so I know that it's about there, and then I can see that there. So I'm just wanting my glue in the middle. Okay, and so I can pop this down now and then just put this level with the bottom, but just making sure that I've got an even gap. I'm looking for an even gap on either side. There we go, so even gap either side, and that's going to fit up like that. Okay, so while that's just drying, I'm just going to place that and we're going to do some stamping. So I just wanted it to be a card thinking of you. Now this is an old set. It is actually from the Little Lady book, but once you get sentiments, you want to keep them, because I was just looking through my stamps and I couldn't find any current ones that I've got that said thinking of you. So I'm going to use an old set. Beautiful. I don't need to use my stamping mat because of course it's a rubber stamp and it doesn't need the cushioning because it already has it. Now I'm using my oval and I'm going to cut a bit off the bottom here because I want to position it straight. I've not quite got my stamp when I stamped it straight, so I just need to cut a bit off the bottom, and this will allow me to maneuver it so that I get it straight in my oval. So I think that's about straight, and that's it. I'm going to put that there. Okay, lovely. And I've already cut out the piece of gold with the top one. I just love this. This is fantastic. I love it. I did have a little bit of the actual remains of a flower that I did use on the other one, but I think we might have a little bit of a flower coming off. I'll see. Right, okay, so I like to use everything so that there's no waste, so if I cut out flowers I can use them later. So I've done the Thinking of You with Highland Heather because that's the colour that I've coloured in with the flowers. So we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. So I've got my dimensionals. So all we need to do is sit it in position where we want it to go, so how far ever we want it to go, and then I'm going to pop dimensionals down the centre of my oval. So I'll pop those. There we go. And then I'm just going to position this now exactly how far I want that easel to go back. I'm looking either side, trying to keep it straight, and then looking either side where I want it. So that is the card so far, and I don't know whether I want to stamp on the side. Not decided, or should I have the yellow ones? So we could have it down there. Actually, I think I quite like it down there, so I'm going to stick it down there. So I'm just going to stick it flat because I've already got that raised up, so I'm just going to stick it on that side. I'll just have to hold it because it was curling up quite a bit, so just do that for a second or two. There we go. Oh, that's nice. Now I've got these nice yellow ones, and I'm thinking now I'm going to use one of these because we haven't got those whole ones. I'm going to go into my Forever Always, and I'm going to pull out my Daffodil Delight, and just see if I've got a bit of scrap card that this will just go on nicely. Let's have a look. So yeah, so I'm just gonna put, yeah, that fits on it lovely. So I'm just going to get another stamping block and just pop that on. I just think this, oh actually I did do it with the grey, didn't I, and coloured it in, so I need to, do need that on the stamping block. I do need my grey. So I think it was Smoky Slate, hope it was Smoky Slate that I used. So I'm just going to use my Smoky Slate. It's very hard to see on this stamp pad, and now because I'm using photopolymer I do need to bring in my stamping mat to get an excellent stamp. Okay, so bringing in my stamp mat, and I'm just gonna press that down. I don't know whether that one, but that one's fine. Okay, so I'll just pop that out of the way, pop my stamp out of the way, and all I did was my light yellow, I just coloured it in, just going to move that out of the way, I just coloured it in with my stamping blend. So I just bring it in and colour it with my stamping blend. It won't take long. Won't take long at all to do. So the blends are just wonderful to colour with. done. So I did all those others ahead of time, but just felt it just needed a bit more yellow on there. There we go. So it doesn't take long at all. And then just the centre one I coloured in with the dark. So I'm going to bring my dark one in and just colour the centre in. It just gave it that little bit more. Okay, so now all we need to do is bring in our dye to put our flower out. So disappointed that this really is going, because it's such a lovely set. I will continue to use it, so if you follow me and you don't have this set, you might be wanting to purchase it so that you're not missing out when I use it. So I don't get rid of any of my stamp sets, because you think, oh, why did you get rid of that? So I don't do that, because you want to use them in the future. So I'm just going to line that up, and I'm happy with where it should go. I'm just going to tack it down with a bit of washi tape and run that through my die cutting machine. I'm going to put my, oops, I've moved out, move the die now. Not quite got it right. There we go. I was really looking forward to the, I'm doing it the wrong way round. Let me just move my card. I'm right-handed, and obviously I need to, let's get things out of my way. There we go. Just needed to get the angles right. Okay, just love this mini. This mini is absolutely fabulous. I couldn't wait for it to come out. So pleased with it. Okay, so there we have got our yellow one now, and I think I'm just going to stick that down. Thinking of you, so I don't know which position I want it in. I might turn it all the way round, I think there. Okay, and again I'm going to stick it flat, because I have got the other one up on dimensionals, so I don't want this one up on dimensionals. You don't want it totally flat. You could have curled your flowers as well, like I showed you the other day, but I'm just going to have that go in there and bring that in. Now I'm just going to stick in a few of the glitter gems. Okay, so they're called the glitter clear epoxy shapes. I've had these a very, very long time. It's time I used them up, so I'm going through things and I am using them up. So I'm going to stick one in the centre of this flower. Well, actually I'm going to put 3 down, actually. So stick that there, and then 1 just on the top. Let's get it in position where I want it. Oh, it's messing me about today. There. Yeah, I've stuck them down anyway. And then I'm going to stick one on Thinking of You, and I think I'm going to stick a couple on my actual top bit here, and another, there we go, stick one on there like that, there. So there we go, a very simple card to make. You don't have to bother with the actual running it through a die cutting machine and getting the emboss. To make it even simpler, you can just cut out that shape and just stamp rather than having to fussy cut out. So you could just stamp all those how I've stamped them and colour them in, and you don't have to run it through the embossing machine to make it simpler. And you could fussy cut these out, or you could stamp those on and colour those if you did it on white card, say, for instance. So there's lots of different ways you could do this, but I just thought that was a very simple card, but still very pretty. So thank you very much for watching me. Do appreciate that you've stopped by. If you're on my YouTube channel, please subscribe so that you won't miss any of my videos I upload. If you're wanting to purchase on my YouTube channel, you should be able to go into my description box that will give you a link back to my Facebook business page where there is a shop link, or you can just go straight to Stampin' Up and put in this host code when you get to your paying, and it will link it in with me, and you will then be able to share in with the free products. Thank you very much. Do appreciate that you've stopped by, and I will be back tomorrow with more crafty goodies. Bye!